Yes, get into it. Tune in and I'm going to show you step by step how I created this affordable look. Continue to watch. Welcome back. So today we're going to do a full tutorial step by step using affordable music, affordable makeup on our face today. So I'll go step by step, show you the easiest way, beginner friendly. So I'll use some cheap products, not even cheap, but some good products that are not expensive, that works just as well as the high-end makeup brands. So continue to watch and I'm gonna show you how to get this done. Okay guys, so I always start off with my eyebrows. I am using the NYX, eyebrow pencil in the shades. I think this is Espresso. So what I do to make it easy, I'm gonna come closer to the camera, and my brows have not been groomed, they have not been threaded yet. I'm waiting for them to grow in a little bit, so I'm gonna just show you the easiest way I think to get it done. Just brush them in the direction that they're flowing. I don't spend too much time on doing all of that. I just like to brush them just to make sure they're going in the right direction, okay? So we're just brushing. I take my pencil, and I don't have it up high because when it's high, it tends to break. So I have it where it's like just a little bit out of the top part of the thingamajig. So I always start up here. Let's see, okay, good. I draw a line. And I don't try to create brows that are not there. So I just follow the strokes of my hair and I just follow along. I don't try to create a bigger brow, because when I do, it end up looking crazy. So you see, I draw a line at the bottom, all the way here to here. And I do the same thing, but I don't start up here at the top. I kind of start up further back, and I just draw a line at the very top. And if you want, you can kind of create an arch like here, because I kind of don't have any hair here. So then I'll try to create like a little bit of a brow there. And this is a really good eyebrow pencil, and it's not too expensive. I want to say it's like 10 bucks. I got this at Ulta. And then now I'll just fill in the areas that's sparse, and in the front I just take hair-like strokes. And again, it does not have to be perfect, because like I said, or not like I said, but in my other videos, at the end I always go back and I create hair strokes in the front again, just because sometimes you lose it with all the makeup. So again, if you're not trying to do anything too much, because again, this is beginner friendly, line at the bottom, line at the top, and again, I create just a little bit of an arch here just to give a little bit of an eyebrow. That's it. We're not gonna do anything crazy. I'm gonna do the same thing in here. Remember, the eyebrows does not have to be exactly alike, because even before they're actually groomed or threaded or waxed or whatever you get done, they're not identical before then anyway. So don't get too fixated on making them perfect twins. And you see, again, I don't start up here the eyebrow, I kind of start up here, and then I just bring that line over, create somewhat of an arch here, and then I bring it down. Okay, and then I always tend to brush from time to time, just to brush away those harsh lines and make those lines from the brow pencil kind of fade a little bit, because sometimes you can make your eyebrow a little bit darker than actually what you wanted. And you just take, again, you just take this part of the pencil and you just brush it through the brows. Brush it to make the pencil lines more natural with your eyebrows. And I don't like a dark eyebrow. Again, Sometimes you end up making one just because you're so fixated on trying to make it perfect. I think if you don't think too much on the brows, it does not take a long time. And so I'm going to use my LA Pro concealer in shade Toast. This is what it looks like. This is kind of more of like my skin complexion, and when I do my own makeup, I just kind of use my hand. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit out, and this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna take a brush that looks like this, straight across. I like these brushes a lot easier. They work for me better, let me say that. And then I just take a little bit of that concealer, I pat it, and then I always start off at the very beginning of my brow. I know some people may start off kind of at the tail. I start off at the beginning. It works for me. So, and you just kind of want to follow where you put that pencil at. You don't want to try to go over the hairs because you can kind of see it. And you're basically cleaning up your brow. Don't think too much on it, just follow the line of the brow that you created. And that's it. And usually I go in with a lighter concealer, but because this is beginner friendly, I don't want to do anything too crazy, too bright. We want this to be as natural as possible. So boom. And that's it. And I always take my concealer down my eyelid because this is now my base for my eyeshadow. I've never used eye primer or shadow primer. Concealer does the trick. So boom, there you go. Now we have to do the other side. Same thing, I start up at the very front. Want to make it look as natural, and it's beginner friendly, so we're not going to conceal the top. So that's all we did with that. And then we must set that concealer, because if you don't set that concealer that you put on the eyelid, it's going to begin to crease, and so with the eyeshadow. So what I do is I buff out with just a kind of like a fluffy brush that looks like this. I buff it out. I buff out that concealer. Again, just because it looks so natural, you can barely see the concealer, but it's there. And boom. I'm just gonna lightly push in. This is the Airspun. I'm sorry, this is what it looks like. I always use this, no matter what. This is the Airspun loose setting spray. What the heck? The loose setting powder. I got this at CVS. You can get it at CVS, you can get it at Walgreens, you can get it at Walmart. I don't honestly know how much it is, but it's not expensive. And it's really good. It does what it needs to do for the eyes. Let me just say that. So you just kind of go over your eyebrows. You go over the eyebrows just so that they're not shiny from that wax of the eyebrow pencil. Yeah. Honestly, I forgot. Normally, I don't think this is an expensive product either. But I already put the setting powder. But let's see, if you want your eyebrows to last, use like a gel. This is a good one. This is the NYX, the brow glue. I take a little bit. I'm not gonna do it just because I'm not going anywhere. And you just basically fluff up. I go in the same direction of my hair. Well, let me just do a little bit. I go the same direction of the hair. And I put just a little. And this keeps your eyebrow in place. It keeps your eyebrow in place, and it makes your eyebrow last longer. And like I said, this NYX, this is not an expensive product either. And then that's why you do the setting spray, because it can make your eyebrows shiny. So I'm just go over a little bit. I'm not even gonna add anything extra to the brush. Yes, I am. If you hear that noise, I'm sorry, that's my dog chewing up her bone. Bear with her. You just go over your eyebrows. It's gonna look white in the very beginning, but trust me, it'll fade away within time. Okay, eyebrows are done. So again, this is an easy beginner friendly tutorial. So we're gonna do something very simple and at a decent price. Let me see what I can use. ColourPop. We use ColourPop. This is the ColourPop eyeshadow palette. I like this palette. You can get it at Ulta. I don't know if you get it at drugstore, but it's not expensive. ColourPop is really good as far as pigment, and it's not expensive. And this is what the colors look like. So I'm gonna probably go use this for my transition, and then I just use this for my decor. The bottom part of my eyelid. So 2 different colors. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This will be my first time using this brush. This is from Shein. So here we go. Still cheap. A little fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna go in that first. Actually, no, I lied. Let's do this one. I don't know if I pointed to this one, but we're gonna do this one first. That'll be our transition shade. So you pounce into the powder, and then you see all that coming out. You wanna get rid of all the extra. And then I always start off at the very front, and then I bring it on over. I start off at the very front like this because this is kind of like your starter of your contour for your nose, okay? So bring it up to the front. Don't worry if it goes inside the eyebrow. It is completely okay. And then I just pounce. I pounce that shade onto my eyelid. So I'm just pouncing. To me, going up and down gets more pigment versus swiping. When I swipe, I'm going into 2 different colors. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm just gonna end up doing these 2, mixing these 2 colors. When I swipe, that's usually when I'm trying to like bring it over. So I always pounce, and then I may kind of do this. You see me kind of like doing this, and that's just basically drags that pigment over. So transitioning is just, we call this a transition shade because it's basically your color that you're starting off or that you're transitioning into the actual true eyeshadow that you're gonna use. So again, this is more of like my skin complexion, which is what I like when I'm doing a very natural look. And again, this is something easy. Boom, so we have that color. I'm going to use the same shadow brush, or the same brush I should say, and I'm going to go into that darker, and I'm just going to bring that down to the lower lid. So I'm just pouncing, and again, this is something simple and quick. Pouncing that dark eyeshadow. And I'm kind of swirling it into the transition color, and boom. Because we're not gonna think or do too much on this eyeshadow. Because again, this is easy, something simple to do. And remember, bounce that eyeshadow product off the brush before you apply, especially if you're doing your face first, which I never do, because I like to do eyes just in case eyeshadow gets on my face. I don't have to worry about, you know, having to wipe it up. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so that is done. Eyes is done. Like I said, very simple. I rarely go with a naked eye. I like to have something on my eyes. It pops out a little bit more. And now I'm using my Neutrogena makeup remover wipes just to wipe off any oils or any makeup products that could have fell from the eyeshadow or old makeup that you may have on your face. So I'll take one little wipe and I just wipe. I'll wipe our entire face with it. See, some of the eyeshadow did come off. So you just, like I said, I don't I really do eyeshadow. Unless I'm rushing and I'm like, I don't know if I'm even be able to do anything to my eyes. So we are just wiping that off. Let me bring my camera down a little bit. Okay. Face has been wiped off. So now this, I give them e.l.f. I don't know if they sell this in Ulta or Walgreens or Walmart. I don't know. They sell e.l.f. brushes inside the drugstores or the grocery store, so they may have this product. But this is the e.l.f. hydrating holy hydration face cream. I swear by this. I use it all the time. So I'm gonna just take a little rub it in your face. Even if you have dry skin, oily skin, you want to make sure you moisturize your skin. I know one time I was rushing to do my makeup and I forgot to put moisturizer on my face, and my face felt so dry. And I don't have normal to oily skin. My face felt so dry, and I felt weird. I kept doing this when I had my makeup on because I thought it was gonna crack. I like to put an eye cream underneath my eye, and this helps prevent my concealer from caking up. It just makes the concealer look more natural. It looks more better underneath the eye. And then this is e.l.f. as well. This is the e.l.f. cream. And again, these products are not expensive. You can order them online. And I take a little and I put it underneath the eye and I just rub it in. And again, this just makes it smooth underneath your eyes. That's work. Okay, so we moisturize your skin. We put some eye cream on. Now, because I am oily, I like to use the e.l.f. Petite Primer. And I get a smaller amount and I just put it on my T-zone area. So I'm gonna put it here. So I can get oily here. I put it here. Chin, nose, and then the forehead. And this is just gonna keep, well, I'm not gonna say it's gonna prevent you from getting oily, but it sure will help. It sure will help. Because like I said, I wear my makeup normally like 3 hours, and I usually don't have any issues. The only time I have issues is when I try to skip a step, and that just doesn't work. Okay, so I finally picked up this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I was using this one here, so we're gonna try this one. This is another primer. I use it solely to allow my foundation and my makeup to stick to my face. And I usually just put a little bit on my hand, and then I just pat it in. How I pat it, I do it just like this, and then you'll notice it eventually started getting sticky to your face. See? It'll get sticky, and that's the way the foundation will stick on your skin. And I usually don't have a problem with my foundation slipping, sliding, or looking patchy when I apply all these products. And this is all e.l.f. products. And like I said, these are not expensive products to use. So I just push it in. And I let this stuff wait and settle in my skin. So for foundation, what I'm going to use is the Maybelline Fit Me. I am going to mix 356 with 360, and this is what they look like. I feel like when I use this 356, it's a little too light, so I add 360. Not to say that that's a lot darker. I could probably use 360 alone with my tan. Actually, that's probably what I'll do. I'll just do 360 and see if it's good. So first, of course, shake it up first. And it doesn't have a pump, so I'm gonna pour. Actually, I'll just use my hand. I'll pour a little on my hand. And this is $3.60 again. And I'm gonna take my brush, because I'm a brush girl now with foundation. Hello. And so this is how much I put on my hand. I took some off already with the brush, but I put about this much on my hand. And I am just going to put it all over my face. Little small strokes first. And then once I get all the product, on my face, then I'll blend it in. Okay. So I'm just taking my brush and I am just, see, pushing it in. Again, we're not doing long swipes. We're just pushing the product in. And you want to always make sure you go below that jawline, because we don't want to look like it's a mask. What I do next is I go in with my concealer. And then what I conceal underneath the eyes, the bridge of the nose, the forehead, underneath the nose, and the chin. So this is the LA Pro. This is what it looks like in shade Toffee. So I'm just gonna go directly to my face with this brush. Okay. And because this is like beginner friendly, I am not gonna cream contour. We'll just put a little bit of bronzer or contour powder on the face. I think cream contour is maybe a little bit too much, but with concealers, I like to let it sit a little bit just so it gets thicker and you have more of a coverage when you allow it to sit. So I'm going to use this brush, this little small brush. This is another cheap brush. It's from Shein. I like it. It's a smaller version of the Morphe brush that I really love. But again, we're trying to use affordable stuff. So this is the Morphe brush. Let me compare these brushes sizes. So it is a lot smaller, but it works the same way. Okay, so I always start off at the bottom, and what I always do, I blend the edges first. So blend the edges first, and then I go into the middle, and I just do that. And I always start off with just the edges. And I leave inner corner for last, just so that stays on your face a little bit longer and it gives a more full coverage, since you're allowing it to still dry down more. And then we'll go to the forehead. Be careful not to get it on your eyebrows. Again, I like to go over it at the very end with little strokes in the front, because I basically kind of go over it with the makeup, and I kind of lose it sometimes. But when I'm in a rush, sometimes I don't have time to go over it, so I try to be as careful as possible. Okay, so now we're gonna go in the inner corner, and I'm gonna see how this looks to see if we're gonna go in with a brighter shade. I don't care to have a bright under eye. I like to have a brighter under eye, but you know, some people like to have that super bright under eye, and unless I'm trying to be extra, I'll kind of go in with just a smidget of a lighter shade than I normally do. But Again, this is beginner friendly, so we're gonna keep it very minimal. And so I like to bring it up, and then that, can you see that lift it gives you? So I take that brush and I just take my time, and I don't do anything fancy. I just take that brush, and I kind of just push it up. Push it up. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna push it up, and this is gonna give a lifted look, like you done had some work done, but you really didn't. And again, this is a $5 product. So boom, boom. Do I want to go lighter? Let me see. It never feels, I always want to do something extra. The L'Oreal, we can go on with just a very little L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal. This is a bright shade in shade 365. Again, this is beginner friendly. You do not have to add this step, but if you want to add this step, I'm just going to take a little and put that there. And because it's beginner friendly, we're going to use the sponge on this part, because when it comes to your under eye is the first place to crease, especially when you have this concealer in. So once I'm ready to set, I go in with the sponge just to push in or just to get rid of any crease that could have accomplished just from you blinking and talking and moving your face. And then I go quickly in with these settings, this loose setting powder. What I like to do is I like to blend the concealer out, then go in with the pressed powder. When I go in the pressed powder, I feel like I have more of a filter look, and then I go over with the loose setting powder. So I'm going to show you. So the shade that I'm gonna go in with underneath the eye after I blend out this concealer is the Toffee from Maybelline. This again you can get at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. It's not an expensive product. I honestly don't even know how much this costs. Probably maybe around $8, give or take or two. But that's how much this is. So once I'll press this out, apply this, and then I'll go in with the loose setting powder. So I'm going to take my damp sponge, and I am just gonna, and I'm gonna keep this brightness right here. And again, this is optional. You do not have to do this. And I just keep it here. And don't worry if you go over here, because you're going to contour the nose anyway. But when you bring it to your nose, you're somewhat already doing that reverse contour. I think that's what they call it, reverse contour on your nose. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay, and you just want to make sure everything is blended out. Okay. Keep looking down. Pat it. And you kind of push that powder in. Okay, one side. Can you see the difference? I'm gonna back up a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna do something this side. Get rid of any creases that can be underneath the eye. Okay, take that same powder, pressed powder, push it. Okay, there you have it, underneath your eyes. Some people, I notice when I watch them on YouTube, they don't go in with the loose setting powder. They just set underneath the eye and they're fine. I have the loose setting powder in shade number 30. And this is what I'm going to set with underneath the eyes. And this is, let me show you what the color looks like. So I like to pour it on the top. And then I'm going to use this little triangle puff. Put my finger in. And I'm going to push it into the product. Push it. And once I push it in there, I'm going to get rid of all the extra. You see all the extra that we don't need underneath my eyes? And go in underneath the eye. Press it, press it, press it. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Loose setting powder, and always make sure you kind of go here, because even when I do other people's makeup, sometimes I kind of have a wider nostril, and then you don't get here, and then you notice you have makeup just kind of like caking here. But make sure you kind of get that triangle puff on the side of the nose too. Don't forget about the nose. And then, you know, if you watch, I bake on my nose. And the reason why I bake is just so that it leaves more of a brighter look on the nose. And you don't have to do too much, because again, this is beginner friendly. We're not doing too much. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, forehead. Okay. So everywhere we concealed, we applied this loose setting powder. Okay. So now, the loose setting powder is done. Again, we're gonna make this easy as possible. We're gonna put that up. And then, it's time to bronze now. So I'm gonna use this True Complexion contour palette in medium to dark. This is what it looks like, and I'm going to go in with this darker shade. Focus. This darker shade here, and I am going to contour with this. I like using an angle brush. So I'm gonna show you what one looks like. I can use this. Not even an angle. I like using something like this, or you can use something that looks like this. Just something that has an angle. I don't know. It's more easier to contour with that like that. So I'm gonna just take the brush, push it in that product, pat, and contour. What you're gonna do is you're gonna contour just your cheekbones here. I like to just do the upper part of my cheekbones, and I bring it up and around, and then I go over the forehead. Okay. Just like that. And you can make this face too, just so that you can see where the placement. Like I said, you're gonna place it right here, right above the cheekbones. That's it. Okay, so now I like to kind of chisel. I'm using the word chisel, and I don't even know if I'm using the right word, but I like to contour my nose. I use a black opal. This is what it looks like. Excuse the top, it broke. This is what it looks like, and this is in shade Bronze Blue. I always use it, and I use it with a angle brush, something that look like this. So it's just slanted. It almost look like a makeup brush, but it's angled. Okay, so I'm gonna just pounce it into the product, pat, and I start off from here, from right the front of my eyebrow, and I bring it down. Remember we started off that eyeshadow, and that kind of helped start it off. And I'm not gonna do anything crazy because again, it's the beginner friendly. And I just take it and I just bring it over like this to the tip of the nose. Same to the other side. Bring it, started off here, begin the eyebrows, bring it, I'm gonna do it slow. So bring it just like this to the tip. You can even do something like this at the very end. Boom. We're not gonna do too much. And I just like to feather that into my eyeshadow just so everything blends. Okay. Take a little bit of that shade number 30 that we used, the Maybelline, and I take a little bit with this brush, not brush, but this triangle puff, and I just like to do this. I started off here and I just bring it here. And it does not have to be, you know, perfect. And I don't allow this to sit on my face for a long time. It's just kind of like chisels that contour that we put on our face. So do you see the difference? This looks more snatched than this side. So that's all we're doing. Sometimes I get wrapped into trying to have both of them like, you want to make sure they kind of like somewhat are the same. Boom. Okay. And that's, oh, no, I'm lying. And then slide, I know, but we're taking the same powder. I'm just gonna just bring it here and bring it down. Here, bring it down. Same powder. And I'm saying this just helps you have makeup that lasts a lot longer with the powder. It helps. So boom, and we're not gonna have these lines last long. We're not gonna have these lines last long because if you keep them on your face for a long time, the line length stays on for a long time. So we're going to use, I use Maybelline again, the pressed powder in shade 355, and this is what it looks like. 355, and then we'll use this just to basically get rid of this line and I'll go back to the 330. And then I'm gonna get rid of that powder that we put on underneath the eyes. Okay, so we're just gonna get rid of that powder. We're just wiping it away. And then underneath the eye, I press it in. I don't wipe it, I press it in. And I don't have anything on this brush. Let me say that. I didn't put anything on this brush. I was just wiping away the nose and I'm just pushing in that loose setting spray that we put there. And then you can, if you want, I'm gonna be a little extra. I'm gonna go in with 230 Maybelline. It's a little bit brighter. It's at the top. I'm gonna push that in and go in here. Just the corners. And then we're going with that darker shade on the rest. And I'm just pushing everything together. And if you're concerned at this part, because it's like you looking at it and it's like I look very pottery, I'm going to go in a little bit more with our contour shade, just a little bit, patting it, because I feel like we kind of lost it a little bit, and I'm just kind of going over the top. Top, 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 top. Okay. This time you can stay. Lasting Fix makeup setting spray. I'm gonna just shake this up because I may use this in a while, and I'm just gonna guide my. I don't want to mess up my hair. And now, we're gonna just push everything in. And again, if you feel like you lost something, you can always go back and fix it. Okay. I'm gonna go in with this one, and I am just gonna take it to here, the top part. So I'm just gonna push it in. See, it has a pretty good pigment. Okay. And I'm gonna just put just very little. Yeah. Just to bring a little bit of color to our face. Okay. Cheekbones, I like blush, and it's not giving me the dubious place that I'm used to, but it's giving me a little bit of color, and that's all. A nice one that's not expensive. I will use, let's go in a black one. NYX pencil. And we're just gonna line underneath the eyes. Black eyeliner, and then I'm gonna just take a brush that looks like something that looks like, this is the Wet n Wild. You need this at the dollar store. It looks like this. And I'm gonna just go back to our palette that we use for underneath the eyes, and I'm going with that brown shade, that dark brown shade, and I'm just going to smoke out underneath the eye. Okay, and I just do the very tail of my eye. It's the Essence Lash Princess. And then I'm just gonna go underneath my eyes. Nothing crazy. Boom. That's it. Because again, this is beginner friendly. We're not gonna do too much. I shake it and I bring it down. I don't know how everybody else do it. I see them kind of using the tip like this. Anytime I do that, it doesn't do good with me. They're like a natural looking lash. This like whole pack probably cost $2 here. That part irritates my eyes, so we're gonna cut that off on both sides, regardless. We're cutting both sides. And then I like to see. Okay, that's good. And I'm just going to take the brush and brush the band of the eyelash. And it should look something like this. And it's like a blue color. I wait until that blue color becomes almost like clear, and then that lets me know that the glue is tacky. So I put it on the eyelash band, and then I also put it on my eyelid. So we're gonna take it from here and just swipe across. Same thing here. Swipe across, and I'm gonna just let that dry. So while that's drying, I'm gonna get the same eyelash mascara, and I'm gonna just coat my lashes at the top. When you do this, this allows your lashes to mesh in better with the falsies. I don't like putting the lashes on and then using the mascara, because that could sometimes destroy the lashes. And I like to reuse my lashes. And it's not to say because I'm cheap, but my goodness, once you use them once, I mean, it still looks good. Some lashes I've used maybe about 6 or 7 times. And I don't know, and I don't have issues with it. And again, I'm not buying no expensive lashes. I'm buying mine from Shein and Amazon. And I lied, I said I think I bought this from Shein. I bought this pack from Amazon, and I think it was like $9. Okay. So while we are waiting for the lash or the dual glue to dry, I'm gonna go back in to have it with the NY Expo. Okay. I'm just going in. And then you wanna brush it. Something cheap. This is a hair store pencil. This is the NK lip pencil in shade Coca, and this is what it looks like. And we're just gonna line the lips. I can guarantee this pencil costs like $2. And it slides on just right. Okay, we're not gonna do too much extra. And then I'm gonna use the Maybelline gloss. We're gonna do something simple in shade Amber. Yeah. And then that's all we'll do with the lips. Boom. Okay, let's see if our glue has dried. It has. So you see now, you can't even see it, but I'm gonna get as close as I can to the lash. And you hold it just like this. And you go in. I bring my mirror. This is my right eye. I bring my mirror and I bring it low and I look down. And I try to take it as close to my eyelash as possible. And I just press it. I always press it in the middle first. And then I connect the edges. Is to highlight the face. I like to let me see if I can find a cheek highlighter. Oh, I don't know if this will show up. Let's see, I have this ColourPop highlighter, and this is in Champagne. Let's take it. And I take the blunt of the beauty blender and I pat it in there just like this, and then just like this, just to get, I don't know, this will even show up a little bit. Do y'all see it? Just pouncing it in. This is not as pigmented as what I usually use, but that's okay. Again, this is beginner friendly, so this will be good, so you don't have to really worry about doing too much. Having a highlighted cheek, and just like that. You can see it in the mirror, but hopefully you can see it in the camera too. I'm gonna just take my finger, make sure it's clean, pounce it, and then put it on my nose. Same thing. A light color, so we'll go back to our palette that we used earlier, and I like taking a brush that looks like this, something small, and I'm gonna go in with this. Stay focused. With this shade here, or should I just do white? Let's do the white first. We'll do this one first. And you see how it kind of opens up the eye a little bit, and we'll bring it down a little bit. And we'll do the same thing here. I think we'll keep it matte. No highlighter shade. And that's it. Nothing crazy. Okay, so let's spray our face one more time. Let's go in with the NYX matte finish. Matte finish finny matte. I don't know, but it looks like this. And I'll just spray my face again. Let me shake it up. Spray a couple times. And that is it. We'll push everything in so everything blends in good. It took us a longer time to do it because I'm talking to you and I'm showing you products, but I know when I first started doing makeup, it took me a while. Now I'm trying to get my craft of being able to do it and not take so long. So this is our final look. And I think this looks super cute. And we use all drugstore products. And I truly think you guys will be able to do this look. So, what do you guys think? This is the final look. And I think it looks really cute. I have to see how long it took me to do it. I don't know. I'll edit a little bit, make some parts a little bit faster, but I truly want to show you how long it'll take in the process and how I look when I'm doing it, how I apply the brush. So I don't want to go too fast, but I think this looks super cute. And this is a good natural looking face. I didn't do anything crazy. Even I highlighted underneath the eyes and it doesn't look crazy underneath the eyes. It looks very natural, a natural highlighted look. And then bronzing, I think it looks good. It's nice and subtle. It, you know, my face does not look flat. I think it looks really pretty. And even the little, the highlighter that I really used from ColourPop, it popped a little bit. But this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something from watching this. I learned doing makeup by watching YouTubes constantly. So I think it's very helpful, especially when you're watching tutorials like this versus watching tutorials that are speeding through or that are cutting stuff. And you're like, well, how does she blend that in? So yeah, I really wanted to do a step-by-step just to kind of show you how to do everything. And it's just, you know, not too complicated about it. And when you're using anything expensive, and I can guarantee you this face will last just as long as my other high-end products. And I won't have any problems. I think it's all about how you apply it and then the base that you put underneath. And you even saw my base. I don't use anything expensive. And yeah, I think this turned out really cute. All right, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, comment, like. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Bye.